I know that Kate and I have probably seen you in passing at different events, but I can't let this opportunity pass by without thanking you, first of all, for making Shakeology.
Yeah.
Um, Kate and I have been coaches for 7 years, but I started on Shakeology 7 years ago, and it has totally changed my life.
Oh,
Before Shakeology, I used to get sick and be on antibiotics like every 4 to 6 months.
oh wow.
And yeah, just different things, sinus infections and just, congestion, different things that would turn into full-blown sickness. And in the last 7 years, I have not been on one antibiotic except for this one trip to Mexico when we
Oh
took
my
the
God, that's
but yeah, like I
crazy.
don't get sick
Yeah.
anymore. Like my immune system is so much better. And
Shows you the power of food.
yeah,
Yes.
it really is. It really is about the power of food. And so we're just so thankful.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
And Kate wanted to share a little bit.
So our first summit was the last year that it was in LA. And I remember specifically, like the only thing really that I totally remember is going to the meeting where it was you and Darren, and you were talking about Shakeology. And it was, it was still new. I think there was like 2,500 people at that summit.
Oh my God, that was the good old days.
Yes. But hearing you and Darren just talk about like the care and each little thing that went into Shakeology, like, I might not have always been 100% in my coaching business, but the one thing I've never stopped is Shakeology, because that moment I was just like, this is the most amazing thing on the planet.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that.
So yeah, the first one was, why did you create Daily Sunshine and what are the benefits for children?
So it was actually created for kids, 4+. And it was created because I was dealing with a lot of kids that would mainly not have the minimum diet of what they needed to grow up as healthy adults. And like I said at the summit, the best way to have a healthy adult is to have a healthy child that already knows what he needs or she needs to do. So I've noticed that kids don't eat the minimum of what they want, what they need. And I've also noticed with research that a lot of the basic vitamins, the basic ones that kids absolutely need to grow up healthy, there are like almost, they get 10% maybe. Like it was a ridiculous amount where that young, they were already lacking in major important vitamins for their growth. And that I was very concerned about, because if you don't have the minimum, the foundation, the building block for healthy life, really, for healthy living, it's for 4 years and older, but those are also the foundation healthy eating habits for adults.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we all know that as it is when we're young, we kind of tend to be like that as we're older, but we all need that. So, but that most kids, that 90% plus of kids didn't have it, that was a real concern. So that's one thing that as I started doing research, I was appalled of, I knew it was bad, but it's really bad. And now as a mother, I have a heck of a time to make my boy eat vegetables. For a long time, I camouflage everything and everything. I was the master of camouflage. And but it was hard, and he gets bored of certain things. He doesn't want anymore, and you freak out because the vegetable muffin doesn't want it after like counting on that muffin for 5 years, and then suddenly he's tired of it and no more muffin, and calls like, you should be happy, 5 years. I'd be so thrilled. That was a long ride. But really, I would have to stuff veggies like in such creative ways. It's exhausting because he's just like Carl. He just wants to eat really, yeah, Carl. So it's ridiculous. And he's getting better, Carl, too, like I said on stage. That's the truth. He's starting to get it. And also his taste buds are evolved. There's an evolution to that, and he's better. So for me, I needed it as well. I got tired of the debate. I really did. And also as he's growing older, and as I'm working more, and I'm getting involved in more and more charities. I'm just taking myself as an example, but it really came from that, is that I saw how if there was a fight to eat his vegetable, and we got 20 minutes and he got to get dressed and the thing, and I have a call because it's New York time and I have it super early, but I have to make sure you got everything you need before I get on the call so you're ready to go to school when we're ready. Like, that was just one example, but I know parents go through that all the time. And the extra 15 minutes of debate on the vegetables, sometimes you just, okay, fine, have the whatever, because you just get exhausted, and only parents can get the exhaustion. Only parents understand that it can take 10 minutes just to zip a darn hoodie. Like, you move so much. I remember when I started doing all that, I was like, this is insane. It's never been so hard to zip a hoodie on someone. How is that possible? So it's like a workout. And so all these little moments, and you add all that, and very often out of exhaustion, or you lose the battle, or you just don't have it, or something, how often does something unexpected happens that takes your time? And all that. So I thought, wow, wouldn't it be incredible to have something that tastes amazing, that is actually the purest thing I could possibly think of putting in my son's body. My son is very picky. He's very sensitive to all these allergies. So nothing is easy. So I get that battle as well. Now, I went out when Carl said, well, why don't you do that? Because I've been asking for 5 years at least to have that shake, and it was not doable. There's so much dynamics at a company like Beachbody. Sometimes people ask, they don't understand all that needs to happen in order for this particular product to come to life. And I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it the best way that I can. And you have to let me do it in a way that no matter how much it costs us to make it, let's see how much that would be, because I have to make sure that my son can do well with it. So before I got on that ride, I decided to go. I had already done a lot. But, you know, I'm a formulator, so I'm able to do a lot of things at home to help my son. But I decided to go all out, and I swear I must have bought 30 to 40 snacks out there. I went nuts. And yeah, I'm a little obsessive, but that's good for you. You want an obsessive formulator. But still, because Carl sometimes was like, really? Because it would be nuts and honey, and there's a lot of granola stuff on the market. But when you look at that, the imbalance of the sugar is crazy. Now, again, I would deal with, my son can have nuts. He doesn't have allergies, but he can't stand the nutty, too much crunchy things. So I was like, okay, well, there's a kid that can have nuts, but he doesn't really like that crunchy thing. That means there's other kids out there that even if they can eat it, they don't like eating it. And on it goes. Like, whatever I got was mostly imbalanced. So not only did I want healthy, but what's crucial to all of us, but obviously our kids, it's that balance. It's that combination of ingredients that makes the blood sugar be steady. And that was important to me. And that was number one in this formulation. So on top of that, I said to Carl, I wanted to get as many certifications as I could get, the most common ones. And because it was less ingredients, I knew I could try to do it. Now, it's interesting because the price is always an issue at Beachbody. And, you know, I have to say this particular formula, and I dare you to find anything like that anywhere. I dare you. Because I know. It didn't exist. It does not exist. So until we decided to do that once again, it was the same story with Shakeology. It didn't exist. So that when they say, why is it this price? It should be that price. And I'm saying, well, there's nothing like it on the market. So don't tell me how much it's supposed to cost. Or if you can't or don't want to spend it, that's okay. You can go get something else. But in order for me to do what I've been asked to do at Beachbody, which is what we do, we try to do the best, whether it's our plans, our workouts, our formulation, our supplementation, we try to do the best. This is our calling. That's what we do. And we try to do the best we can at a price that people can afford. It's not the cheapest, but we're not in the business to do the cheapest. We never were. So when they come with, why isn't it the cheapest? I'm willing to pay 30 to 50 bucks. I get it. I'm okay with that. I understand. And you have the right to be willing to pay 30 or 50, but that's not us. Because in order for me to create something that never existed with a company, once again, who could back me up, with a CEO who, trust me, he said no to many products I want to bring to the market. But when he goes and he says yes, he backs me up and he supports me in the cleanest, purest, most bioavailable, most active, and also with always the greatest ability to create health, the way we know. So that was the story of Daily Sunshine. And also a lot of parents wanted something that was not complex, a formula that would be pediatrician approved. So that was really important. So we made sure that most of them, and I think it's 4 out of 5, right, approve it, which is huge. And we got the, all the certification we can talk about later, but why not now? So we've got the non-GMO, which for me is one of the most important one. And now again, all our stuff, we refuse to have GMO stuff, but we don't have the stamp. On this one, I wanted to put as much peace in parents' mind as possible, because I'm a mom and I know that I'm crazier for him than for me. Yeah. I'll handle it, but I won't ever think for him he'll handle it.
Yeah.
I always think, no, I don't want him to have to handle anything. I want it to be great. So I know the parents are like that. And so, that's why we don't treat ourselves the best sometimes, but we definitely do it for our kids. And so, non-GMO, organic, and dairy-free, soy-free, and gluten-free. And those are the ones we could afford. But once again, now we're being asked, why isn't it this not free? And it's like, yeah, I could go, but then you'd be even more pissed off at me for the price that it would cost. So I tried to do the best that I could. Mm-hmm. And it was scary to thought, oh, they're gonna be all up in arm again with the price. But this is our answer. We did the best that we could to cater to the biggest number of people, of kids out there, because they do have tons of allergies right now. And I do believe it's because of the compromising situation with the soil of our earth, with the mining and all that stuff that compromises the quality of our ingredients. I really believe that. It's unfortunate, but I need to be realistic. And so we tend to see kids this generation that have a lot more allergies than we did or that our parents did. So I think it's cumulative. The stuff, the GMO stuff, that was all in our soil since the 1940s. I think they started spraying without telling us. I'm not sure of this information. Don't quote me on it. Go research. But, those pesticides and herbicides and all that stuff that's been sprayed on our lands for a very long time. So anyway, that could be one of the causes of a lot of allergic reaction nowadays. I don't know, but that's a theory. And so I tried to deliver to the most common ones. Mm-hmm. and we got these 5. And so beside those 5, and I have like the legal super fancy answer right here that I will read for you later for sure. Okay. But beside that, we sanitize and we clean between each batch of our own products and between anything else that's been processed in the facilities. There's a team, experts that do that. Trust me, this is not their eye. There's a whole team that know how to do that, and they clean and sanitize everything. So we do the best that we can. We know we don't have any of the gluten or the nuts in our product. We clean and sanitize. I'll read it once again. But we couldn't get all the certification. It's lots of time, lots of money, and so I don't know, guys. If you buy it, it's a big hit. Maybe we can upgrade it and add 5 more.
Well, I think we're really happy with what we've seen so far. I was really impressed, and our son has a dairy intolerance, and so that was really cool. Because he has to miss out on a lot of things.
He has a hard time with the Shakeology. He doesn't like the little bit of this. We tried the vegan, and it was a little too gritty. And
yes, the taste, right? Yeah,
vegan's my favorite.
This is sweet. This is sweet. Those are a little sweeter, those formula, because again, we did test this on I think 400 something kids, and so we really tried to cater to do so that most kids would like the flavors. There's always going to be somebody at some point that won't like it, I guess. I don't know. They're so yummy. But we did the best we can at that level as well. So, but if you want, I can read those 2 things now, or do you want to wait?
Let's get to that when we talk about specifically about the wheat and all that. Okay. So I'm going to combine 2 questions for you, because I think your answers will probably cover both. But one of
Yeah,
our
I'm good
coaches
at
asked,
that.
well, I think a lot of parents nowadays know and they understand the value of like vitamins, right? We try to get our vitamins and our minerals, and you know, you can go to Costco and get these gummy vitamins that you give to kids, and so one of our coaches said, well, you know, how is Daily Sunshine different or better than just giving my kid a multivitamin?
Well, I don't know what the legal would say. Oh, do you want to give me the second one?
Yeah, and the second one is, you know, why is it important for kids to have a variety of nutrients in their diet? So maybe you could talk about what's in.
Oh man, you guys should know this answer by now.
I know some of it, but I would love to hear from you with, you know, with our audience.
So listen, the Daily Sunshine is food. It's literally food. So it's a vegan, pea protein, organic, all of it organic. It's full servings of fruit and vegetable, and it's a good amount of fiber. And what else? Fruit, vegetable, healthy fats, protein. We added probiotic and enzyme and fiber for the digestion, right? A little bit of vitamin D, bones. We added the antioxidant C and E. So we added just a little bit of the major, most important vitamins to it from whole source, but it's a food. It's literally a meal. So it's a meal. It's vegetable, fruit, protein, fats. So it's not a vitamin. Now there are minerals, vitamins, there's natural constituents of food, but it's not a vitamin except for those major ones. So we hit those major ones because we saw that they were depleted, but we kept it at a very safe level so that if your kids want a second one in a day, can do that totally safe. So we couldn't max out. We made it so you could have several servings, but it is not a vitamin. So that's something that you have to go to your pediatrician and see, you know, this is the vitamins that they have in this shake. Do I need more? Because I feel personally that it is something also that you don't just bombard the body. You, especially as adults, I do blood tests. I check a bunch of stuff. What do I actually need? What do I don't need to max out on? Like, I want to see what's actually going on in my body. So it is not a vitamin. It's really food. It's fresh. It's active. It's food. So it's nothing to do with most vitamins are synthetics. Some are whole food based, but that's a whole other thing to discuss. But it's a very different animal. So if you feel that your kids need more vitamins, let's say that your kid only has the Daily Sunshine, that's his main source of fruit, vegetable, or enough protein, then you may want to talk about adding your vitamins. But it definitely won't interfere with your vitamins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I would suggest that you go to your doctor, that you bring, like, be savvy about it. Bring your vitamin, bring Daily Sunshine, because there'll be your vitamins will definitely have some D vitamins, some vitamin C. And so see and talk to your doctor. Is it okay if I give them both? Am I doing too much of this or that? So that's something that's very personal that you have to check out with what your kid needs and what your doctor thinks.
Awesome. Okay, that actually helps a lot. I haven't heard that answer before, and I have watched couple different videos, so I appreciate that.
Good.
That it's food, because we all know how hard it is.
That shake is really it's clean, it's pure, and it's whole food.
Yeah, I think yesterday I told my son, I said, okay, it's time to get some lunch, and he came upstairs and he grabbed some Cheez-Its and he started walking away, and I said, is that your lunch? And he goes, yeah. Yeah, so that's
why when you ask me why did I create it,
thank you. Okay, so I think a big question from a lot of coaches is, so we already had Shakeology, you know, how is Daily Sunshine different? Like what
to me it's a very different thing.
Okay.
The common denominator is whole food. That's what we like having whole food based products. But the Daily Sunshine is much more complex. And I mean, the Daily Sunshine is much less complex, and it was really designed for kids. Their nutrients, what they need to be healthy, the foundation. I really focused on that, as opposed to the Shakeology. is a complex blend of botanicals and probiotic, prebiotic, systemic enzymes, adaptogen mushrooms. You know, it's a bigger, wider formula, and also a lot of kids won't finish a whole Shakeology. A lot of kids, like your kid, they kind of like the taste, but there's something about it they might not dig.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids, I've noticed, they have a third or half, and then they're done. So you know they don't get the whole thing. So that was something Carl actually noticed with the little homeschool. I have about 8 to 10 kids that I open a little school, and so they all have, they all have Shakeology, and now they all have the Daily Sunshine. But his Shakeology was wasted all the time because they never drank the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you could never count on them getting all that they needed. So that was one thing. And also kids really needed more of those 4 things, those 3 in 1. That's the thing that I really wanted them to get. And the Shakeology focus is a complex, there's more, the goals are wider with Shakeology, as opposed to the goal with Daily Sunshine was specific to kids.
Yeah.
Now, we can't talk about everything when we go on summit, or especially when I have this counter thing with the seconds and stuff, and I have to stop darn thing stops.
Clock.
And Carl tries to ask the questions that are most important to get out there for the first the first reveal. But what I see all the time is problematic kids that have all sorts of challenges, issue that makes eating hard. I see older adults that can definitely, and I've seen it. I need to close it.
I'm like,
I've already done it. So older parents, like I don't like those drinks that they give older people in.
like the Ensure.
Yes, all that stuff I don't want to mention, but all these drinks that you look at what's in there and it's horrible. And I can't believe that when they're sick or older or in need of really deep nutrition, that they give them the least amount of nutrition. So I've already seen people giving it to their parents or their grandparents that were sick in the hospital, couldn't digest anything, Daily Sunshine, because they were on so many medication. But the Daily Sunshine is safe. So they could take it, but all sorts of more little pocket niche of people that really could benefit to simple whole food nutrition. And so even though it was really specifically designed for kids, for the challenges that we all know are coming to us when we're parents, and we all know that that's the truth. So it was really the focus. But now I'm watching it. I had some concept in my head of things I knew I couldn't market the product as such, but that I was hoping it would find its way to little situations that I encountered day in and day out. It even helped my mom, who got very sick at some point, and that was the thing. I grabbed that Ensure out of her. I mean, it was in her fridge, and then it was at a hospital where she was, and I couldn't attack the doctor, but I was like, oh my God, please stop. And she was afraid because she felt like it's the only thing she could have. And always tried little bit by little bit. And that's what saved her butt too. She was able to get some nutrition that way. So I prayed that the Daily Sunshine would find itself in all these situations that requires a very simple, clean nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
When it counts the most, right? Like that's
well,
when
it always counts the most. That's the thing. It's like our childhood. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but our childhood is we all know that. So crucial to building who you're going to be as an adult, and ailments and things that if you had known about stuff, you may not have had to deal with certain things as an adult. And it's we are learning that. See, we come from, my mom didn't know anything about all that stuff, but we know. So we are blessed now to provide that knowledge and that nutrition to our kids. It's going to be a different generation. But they also are dealing with a lot more challenges than we did. Their generation, it's more complex. The world is becoming more complex that way. So I feel like the basics are very rare, and they're the most important basic. That which is the most logical that we all know we need is sometimes the hardest thing to get nowadays. So I like the Daily Sunshine that way. I love that simplicity.
So I have a question for you, and this was not on the list, but well, first the good news. We had our three of our children taste test Daily Sunshine, and all of them liked it, even our pickiest eater, Luke, a little rascal.
Didn't I see that video? Did you post it?
I don't know.
I posted one with Emily. Not
You
with
didn't
Luke.
post Luke.
Yeah.
Why you didn't give us the Luke experience?
I will post it.
That one has to be more edited just because I recorded for like 10 minutes, whereas Emily, I just did quick little snippets, and so I could throw it together and put it out there.
Carl would probably agree that the second thing was better. Carl, give us the good, get the message across. But me, I kind of liked watching the whole dynamic between you and her.
Luke is our most
fun.
Luke is our most brutally honest, and I told him that I was talking to you tonight, and he was like, "Oh, Daily Sunshine, that's good."
Good.
But here's the other thing he said, and this is the question. He goes, "I don't know if I could drink it every day." And I said, "Well, what about if you drink it a couple times a week?" So the question is like,
it's food, guys, every day.
Yeah.
I have it every day. My son has it every day. Carl has it in mid-afternoon every day.
If a parent couldn't afford, like, we've got 4 kids, and what if we couldn't afford like a box per kid for every month? If we had 1 box and we shared it among our kids.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if it's like asking me if I have one good meal twice a week with the vegetable, is that okay? And I'd be like, yes. So every good meal is an addition, is a plus. So to me, it's worth it. I'm sure parents that deal with really difficult children that really don't like anything, like when they have that one meal a week, and I've seen that where they actually, like, for some reason eat something really good. Oh my God, we're so happy. Yes! I mean, it's insane, right? I mean, I think of myself before a kid looking at me now, and I would be like, this woman is crazy. But I get it. So I say yes. I say, if you get each of them to have a good meal twice a week, good.
Right. Yeah, totally. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, don't forget, if that's your situation, you may want to dress it up because it's so sweet. You may want to add some avocado. You may want to add a few things, not too much, but avocado, a little, less than a third. It's so good for him.
Yeah.
And you dress it up a little bit like you do with Shakeology. That we make it a real nourishing meal. We made it that it was super easy because we made it so kids could just pour cold water in it, shake it, done, and they drink it. But if you want to dress it up because it's your situation or anybody else out there, take advantage of it. It is sweeter. It camouflages a lot better than Shakeology because Shakeology has all those botanicals. It's hard for us to design it in a way that is yummy for you, for us as well. But this one is really sweet, so you can put stuff in there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Somebody asked, is it okay to freeze it to make popsicles and things like that, or Shakeology balls?
Freeze it, it stays as is. Although if you were to freeze it and then drinking the next day, it may change the consistency of it or the color, but all the nutrients would remain the same. But popsicle, you won't see the consistency, so absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
there was
I haven't done that yet.
Jenny's?
Yeah.
Okay.
So talk to us about the sugar in Shakeology and
in Shakeology or Daily Sunshine?
I'm sorry, Daily Sunshine. Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to us about the sugar.
Either. It's the same thing, so it's all good. So did I talk about that? I think yes, I did touch on that in that little. By the way, at the end, I'll try to look for that link and I'll email it. I'll message it to you. That way you can send it to all your coaches.
Okay.
And they can use it for information. So basically it's the formula only has 3 in the chocolate, 3 grams in the chocolate and 4 grams in the strawberry banana of organic cane sugar. Everything else, the rest of the sugar is simply the fruit blend. So it's just what would normally come with fruit. Now, as I say in that video, I think an apple is 19 grams of sugar. Mm-hmm. A banana is 14 grams of sugar. So you can see how 7 to 8 grams, when you think that most of it comes from the fruit blend, so it's just natural occurring sugar from the fruits. We added the 3 grams or the 4 grams because of the need to make it yummy for kids and to round up the taste of the formula. So the main goal was that most kids would not argue with this one. And they have a very specific taste, kids. And so we use the organic cane sugar, which is the same as the one in Shakeology. And again, It is not brown sugar, which is white sugar stripped with molasses for color. So that's just white sugar. It's organic cane sugar. It's a plant. So it's not some, crazy bad stuff for you. And it's a very minimum amount. 3 to 4 grams is nothing. And so the whole formula together is 7 to 8 grams. And again, because my main goal was balance, that minimum amount of sugar, of organic, naturally occurring sugar, is very balanced with 3 grams of fiber, 10 grams of protein. So it's not just like pasta. So if you're worried about that, check out the amount of sugar in pasta, or a naturally occurring food that are mostly carbohydrate, where you have a lot of sugar, but you don't think twice about it.
Right.
Or look at your chicken McNugget and look at your Burger King and look what they put in their breads. There's sugar everywhere to make it addicting. Yeah. So go look out at all the other things that they eat, and you'll see that it's actually very minimum amount of sugar. Okay. That's the best I could do with it as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's
so. As far as
stevia, if we just put stevia, there's a bitterness to stevia. Mm-hmm. Most kids don't like it. Now, my kid was raised mostly on stevia, so he can handle more. But I've even seen it with my little kids at the school. They don't like the stevia. I put drops of stevia with Danny with almost everything to sweeten it, like a plain coconut yogurt. I'll put stevia. It's like Dairy Queen. So but most kids don't like the bitterness of it. So we balance it out in the formula.
So as far as like diabetics and everything like that,
once again, legally, when it comes to
medical advice,
medical conditions, I can't give you advice. You have to go check with your doctor. But check what else you eat as a diabetic, and you let me know how the Daily Sunshine looks.
Well, I'm not, but we do have my sister-in-law has children that are diabetics. They're type 1 diabetics, and so
so go see the doctor. Always check with your doctor. Any medical condition, guys, don't ask me. You have to. I cannot be responsible for those decisions. Yeah. And to be honest, I wouldn't feel good doing it, because
everyone's different.
Yes. What do I know about the depth of each kid?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when they look at a product, they'll look at the amount of calories and the protein and the grams and the sugar, like we just talked about. But I know that the quality of the ingredients makes all the difference. So can you just talk to us about the quality that goes into Daily Sunshine, like how you source the ingredients and why it's just
we did
that's I'm a believer, because that was with Shakeology when you started
talking hard, right?
Like, this is it.
Yeah. Well, the challenge, let's focus on Daily Sunshine. First of all, it's the same rigorous process that we do for Shakeology, same team, except that I picked a few and we focused on Daily Sunshine. The challenge with all food-based ingredients is to be able to have the food as if it's practically you just picked it. So we talk about the active, the constituents of each ingredient, the ability to process it in a way that retain all the active. So all that is what your body needs from food. And that's the hardest thing to get, to process it without stripping it of any of its nutrients, any of its aliveness. And so that was very important for Daily Sunshine. So we went through the same rigorous process. So everything is carefully picked and handled in a way that does not disturb that balance, so that you are getting food. And so we went through the same process, that it's not an alcohol sort of depleting process where they strip everything and they don't really care about what is alive by the time you get it. So we know that by the time you get it, what we claim here that you will get, you get it. And each bag is tested, each batch, to make sure that everything is as is. And that's a thing that most companies can afford to do. And it's very important, because what's the point, right? If the food is not alive when you get it, what's the point? And so it's like giving you a black banana. Although some people would say it's very sugary and yummy, but that's not the point here. So yeah, it's the same it's the processing the packaging, the handling, the picking, that is what makes Shakeology and the Daily Sunshine so precious as well, is that we have an incredible team that also check with toxicity level, and we research everything. We look all around the world to have the best manufacturer. So the sourcing and who are our partners, who helps us create these great powders, that is also, you know, a very carefully well done choice that we go through. And very often we have to drop if somebody compromises their quality, if they were because we test everything, right? We constantly test. So suddenly if we see a change in the quality, we pick up the phone, we call, what's up? Very often you won't get an answer, or you get an answer and it's just not okay with our standards. So, you know, it's okay with your standards now, but it's not okay with ours. So we have to drop that particular vendor and now start searching for another one. So we do that so often, especially with Shakeology, with so many ingredients. So we go through that, juggling all the time. And it's a heck of a thing. Like this shake is not one of those product that is done and then, oh, we're done. The formula is alive because these variables, this event with the pollution level and all that stuff that we've talked about that is happening in the world, we constantly have these sort of fires that we have to put down and figure out what is. So it's a heck of a job that our guys, they're really, we are hoping to bring them to in front of the camera more and more because they are incredible. They really work. They're the one who work the hardest. And they bring our vision to fruition, and they always need Darren and I's consent. It has to keep in with the concept that we wanted, and any switch or anything is always all of us. But it's more and more of a group effort, even though the idea and the vision may come from a few individuals. We sit at a table and there's a massive conversation of vendor, manufacturer, and all the complexities. So even if Darren and I have an idea of very specific nutrients, ingredients, they'll say, well, this is practically impossible to get without heavy metals. It is, so we could only put this much because otherwise the heavy metal. So like it's a conversation now. It's not just, hey, we want it that way, do it. It's really a group effort where all these dynamics are being discussed, and then we slowly test and try everything, and we have to make sure that the synergy of all the ingredients combine well so that you absorb them well. So that's a big difference, yes.
It's truly incredible when you stop and really think about the amount of effort that's going into bring us this meal for our kids.
Oh, it's incredible. Like if I could, you would get bored because the challenges are, you would just say, okay, I need to get out. But if I could bring you to the places and walk you through everything they do, it's mind-boggling. And what I'm so proud of, and I think I've had a chance to discuss it a little bit, is the amazing discipline and intent and commitment that the team, the research and development team, and Carl in our big suits, everybody is very committed to what it means to have a Beachbody product. It's incredible. We are so proud and so honestly committed to delivering quality, which goes back to my speech in the beginning. I am sure you can get something for $30. That's not us. So not because we don't want to. If I could get you all these certification and all that quality and all those bioactive elements and do it for $30, it'd be fantastic. It'd be a lot easier to sell. And we can't. It's not us. So, you know, at some point you find out what is the gift, what can I do? And that's what I'm going to do. And so that's what we do.
Awesome. I love it. So, and just to confirm, I know the answer, but just for everybody watching, there's no artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavors, nothing artificial in Daily Sunshine.
No artificial preservative. There's nothing artificial in there.
Okay. And can you just quickly explain why we had to set the limit at 4 years and older, and what advice you'd give to a parent who's thinking about giving it to a child?
4 years and older have very specific nutrients needs. And even for the vitamins, it's very specific. Below 4, so 3.5 all the way to 4, they're not considered kids. They consider toddler and infant. And so it's a different category that have their own specific needs. So we did target 4+. Now, does that mean you cannot give it to less? Not necessarily, but as a company, we have to say, if you want, go see your doctor. Once again, bring the bag and see what your doctor recommends. But it was focused on that age group.
Okay.
Again, it's food.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we're down to our last two questions, so we really appreciate your time. Just if you could explain quickly, and this is the one you might have to read, but so it's gluten-free, but it's made in a facility that processes wheat. So can you talk about some of the quality controls that are in place? You got your readers.
I'm ready.
That just to help put some minds at ease around it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I added as many certifications as I could. Since we can't get them all, this is what I'm about to read. This is what we do. And this is what you should know. And I love that you asked that question. I think you should know. And we want to be as transparent as possible. So we want you to know it all. So here it goes. This celiac question and gluten-free is the same. It's pretty much the same answer for nut-free. So let's see. Which one has the most amount of babble? I'll go. So is it safe for kiddos with celiac? How is it gluten-free if it's made in a plant that processes wheat? The Daily Sunshine product meets the gluten-free definition set by the Food and Drug Administration, which sets gluten limit of less than 20 parts per million for foods labeled as gluten-free. This limit was established by the FDA since they stated that most people with celiac disease can tolerate foods with very small amount of gluten. Every lot of Daily Sunshine is tested for gluten to ensure the product meets this gluten-free standard. In addition, we follow strict FDA good manufacturing practices in creating Daily Sunshine, which includes thorough cleaning and sanitation of all equipment and surfaces the product comes in contact with prior to producing Daily Sunshine. However, because some consumers may have extremely sensitive reaction to major allergens such as gluten or wheat, Beachbody wants to be as transparent as possible. This is why we include a statement, which you will see on many food products nowadays, that Daily Sunshine is made in a plant that also processes eggs, fish, crustacean shellfish, tree nuts and peanuts, and wheat ingredients. We do this so that anybody who has an extreme reaction to any of the listed ingredients should have as much information as possible, and if they have concerns, to first consult with their physician before trying a new product. So that's the official. That means it's as clean as we can make it. Anyway, I just read it. So it's a very similar answer with peanut and tree nut free.
Awesome, thank you.
Perfect.
And the last thing is just why are you proud of Daily Sunshine? And just send us off with a little bit.
I fell in love. I've always liked kids because as a young girl, I was I was always the person who got along with kids. I liked hanging out with them. I liked their freedom. I love the fact that they're mine, especially when they're 2, 3, 4, 5, are not trained yet. I like when they get very angry. It's one of the hardest things with my son is there's a part of me who actually dig it when he gets pissed off at me and has an attitude and he's trying to tell me. I kind of like it. So I like their naivety and their openness, and when I had my child, it also viscerally showed me how much of us as adults starts as them. I really saw it on an emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and of course physical way. It became very clear I could relate to my husband and friends and co-workers. As my child was growing, it's like, oh, this is where this insecurity come from, or this is where this physical weakness come from, or like I understood the intricacies of who we are from the very get-go, and how crucial what we eat, what we say, what we show them, how we feel internally, and they experience that internal place. They feel it, and then it becomes them. That happens in our belly, and it continues when they're born. The atmosphere of the house. This is why a healthy house is so important. And so I'm giving you a big answer, but it's really the truth. It's not what I can market. It's not what I can talk at Summit, but it's very much who I am and why the Daily Sunshine exists. And so I fell in love even more in a deeper way and in a greater understanding of the preciousness of our children. Now, I'm a big activist. I do many other things, watching the challenges on planet Earth. I'm deeply saddened, and yet I feel that there's great hope because more and more of us awaken and understand that what we do as individuals is very powerful. We forget that the power is in our hands. We're surrendering it, but we forget it starts with us. So, you know, what you buy, is it organic? Is it toxic? All these things. My house, the curtains are organic dye. Like, you know, what you can do, do it, because it does matter. So as I'm doing this work in the world, and as I'm raising a child, and I'm around a lot of kids at the school, when I see them in pain, with all sorts of little things that I'm watching my kid or all these kids, and I know that if they had a healthier foundation, they would grow up to be stronger, better, with also an understanding of what healthy is and how important it is. And, you know, as you feed them, you educate them, you tell them why you give them that and not that. So, you know, it's much more concrete to teach health and kindness, meaning be kind to your body. You know, when I say to parents, tell them when they eat sugar and they go and jump off and then they're depressed kind of and down and they don't feel good, or they have a, whatever your own particular child, their ways of reacting to not good food or too much, you know, computers, or, you know, whatever your kid reacts to, that it's an unbalanced way of having a day. But we all know kids want excitement nonstop and sugar nonstop. But I say to my kid, look how you feel. I've just let you had sugar. Look, how does that feel? Do you feel good? No, not really. He gets headaches. You know, if he plays too much computer, the first thing he feels is his thumb. So I say, I get it. Everything is on computer now. But when you fight me, because I give him 15 minutes in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and 10 at night, I said, if I give you more than that, you start feeling your eyes hurts, your finger. I do the same thing with nutrition. So as I'm watching my own child, like how every choice I make has a profound impact on his physical health, but beyond that, understanding one's body and learning to care, learning to understand, oh, yeah, when I have too much sweet, I don't feel good, or I'm tired at school the next day. You know, all these things. So to me, it made me, I fell in love with the human race. So I understood our deep responsibility with each new child that is being born. It's a real opportunity to create the future. The children are our future. It definitely is. And we say it, but so many of us don't really get it. So every change you make in your life, they are around and they feel you and they see you and they hear you. So they watch you do your Beachbody workout every morning. That is not lost on them. Exercise becomes part of what they think life is about. Yeah, you exercise every day. That's just the way things are, as opposed to most of us had to learn that. So, you know, all these moments to me are, what can Beachbody do to help this new generation? Because planet Earth needs help. They are growing on this one planet. We only have one. And so what can we do? Yes, I'm sure that all these bad people, blah, 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 but I don't focus on the bad people. I'm aware, and I'm aware of what is not done and what is done, but I'm part of what is done. I'm part of, this is what I do. This is, I was saying earlier, this is what I do. This is what my husband do. What else can we do? So the Daily Sunshine was part of this opportunity as a mom and married, with dynamics that most of us share. We all have that in common, and we all have that great, great, great love for our kids. So I know how it breaks our hearts when we don't have time to do A, B, C, whatever. And eating is crucial. We all learn it through Beachbody or other companies. And so whatever we can do to bring these children on board earlier, well, let's do it. This is why we have that double time workout with our kids. So we've been trying to figure out, it's not easy to form a formula that would work, that kids might really enjoy doing, and that parents would still get something out of it. So this is because we really see the need. How can we make what is crucial to our physical and emotional well-being part of our lives without, we don't have to read the Bible to our kids, or we don't have to fight for an hour because they have to eat the broccoli. And so, is there a way that we can make that experience better for both the children and the parents to bring that health on board, which is what the Shakeology was about as well. How can we help adults enjoy taking care of themselves without just, and then, sometimes you eat healthy. For me, I'm lucky. I love the taste of all these things. But Carl, if he has only things that taste like vegetables and grains, he's emotionally unhappy. Like there's a part of him who's just not happy. And it doesn't matter how good he knows it is for him. He needs a little yumminess. So that yumminess comes now in the shake, and it comes in the Daily Sunshine, which is even sweeter. So it's really like a dessert. So that's what we do. How can we bring that to the table? How can we enhance each family the way we do it? So whomever connects to that, whoever can do it with us, it's amazing. We cannot do it without you. It definitely is a group effort. And the Daily Sunshine was all that. And parents for at least 5 years asking me, this is why I wanted to say it on Summit, because I wanted to say, hey, you've asked me for this. You've told me why don't you? And I needed gluten-free, and I needed, I've heard that, and I've been trying, and if the parents that ask me out there, remember that you asked me for all that, and I would say, please write to Carl, write to the company itself, because I want to do it.
I actually remember that.
Right? So finally I'm here. So don't tell me why is it not something else? It is the best I could do as of now. And so we hope that it served its purpose. It's the same open, truthful purpose that we always put in our products. So the same with Daily Sunshine, but I'm particularly close to that one. Matters a great deal to me. Our kids need to be healthy. They need to be better than us.
Well, Isabelle, thank you thank you so much for this gift of Daily Sunshine, and thank you for sharing your heart with us. It's very obvious that you care about what you do.
Yes.
It's very inspiring, and we're excited to be on this mission with you, and excited to give this to our kids. So
thank you. I haven't seen any of our beautiful coaches or potential coaches, or just, I don't know how it works. I'm not part of the business, but if there's people that just wanted to know more about the shake, like if you're out there, then I'm going to send that little link to you so they can get all the answers. But I wouldn't be able to do it without you. None of us, Carl and I and everybody at Beachbody, we can't believe what a thing Team Beachbody is. It's crazy, because every step of the way, I think Carl has shared that with you, every step of the way he's been told that will never work. People will never do that. People, every step of the way. Even MLM, I was very hesitant because I knew their reputation. And but he always believed that the idea of MLM was so good. It's just because people took advantage of it. But they do that with everything. If that's what you are, you'll do it with everything. So the company was, I don't know, Carl, it has such a bad rap. I don't know if people are gonna, he always had to be so gutsy to always go against the grain. And the shake, nobody wants to do it. Daily Sunshine, when we saw the price of how much it cost us to make it, do we do it? Because we knew people wanted that to be at 30, and we couldn't do it for that price. So it was like, well, that's what we do. So we're going to go with that the same way we did with everything else. And in a way, it's such a great lesson for anybody out there about any business or any heart affair business. It's like, at some point, you just got to do what you think is, and trust that your tribe will come to you. And often when it's real, it works out. And also when it's real, like even if the company was to disappear, not one year was wasted, right? Like, I know that we have helped 300,000 plus families to be better off financially and to be healthier. We all together have done that. We're not selling Coca-Cola. We're not selling candy. We're not telling them, watch all our TV show on the couch for 5 hours after you finish working. Like, we're creating everything that we are sharing with anyone who's interested is about health, about the basic knowing. We know we need to eat well, exercise well, and we need to support each other. And so the platform's goal is always to enhance. So even if it was to disappear tomorrow, every second was worth it. And anyone involved got off well, meaning you know that you created well-being. You were part of that. So if you're going to spend years doing something, might as well be that. And so I am in awe of all of you who decided first take care of yourself. And that's the beauty of our platform, is you don't need to be an expert. It's about, I do it. Look, I'll show you. Look at me before, after, look at me now. And you don't even have to be picture perfect, which is something I love. It's not about having to be perfect. It's about, I'm on it. I get that I need to be on it. And so I'm making the appropriate actions. And I have great support to do it the easiest way possible. And I have proof that it works. And so the whole thing to me is an incredible endeavor. And the fact that you're all there now with us, it's crazy. I like your questions. I like your complaints, because at the end of the day, it keeps us all honest. And so we answer all that we can answer. We do the best that we can. And we understand that some people will not be with us. They won't be attracted to us, or it won't work for them. And that's okay too. I'm not bitter about that. That when coaches say, oh, this person really doesn't want, let it go. It's all good. It's okay. You just share what worked for you with your whole heart so that they feel your truth. And if that resonates with them, they'll be there. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. They'll go get their tribe. And, you know, it's always been many tribes on planet Earth. So we just continue that, you know?
Well, the people are definitely watching, and they're typing in the chat, and some of them are saying they have goosebumps just listening to you. So,
good.
So we are certainly your tribe, and and we're honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm honored right back. Thank you so very much. And stay healthy. Take care of your kids. I won't be able to answer to everybody because we're getting more and more, but I love those videos. I really, anytime I can walk and watch a video, anytime I can double my stuff, some of them I share with my boy. I really, really enjoy knowing you more now with the Daily Sunshine, which is a plus with the product for me, is that many people that I hardly had any real connection, visual, now through your kids, I have a sense of the family, which is the target in my heart always. Yeah. So now I'm getting to see, like, this is why I enjoyed your video. Like, I know it's not efficient like my husband does, but that's his job. My job is not that. But for me, I really love watching them with their funny comments. And I even like there's one that said that he really doesn't think Shakeology is a good name. That the Daily Sunshine is a very good name, but he should rename Shakeology. And I thought, like, that made my morning. I was laughing so hard when I saw that. So there you go. Enjoy and share. And I'll try to remember to do the heart. I'm new at technology, but very often I just watch, and Carl was like them. Don't forget to like them. So I'm getting better at it. But I really, truly enjoy you sharing all of those experiences with me. So thank you very much.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good night.
Have a great night. Be well, everybody.
Thank you.
As well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.